time to get geeked up.
You know, we don't always talk geek stuff and musical stuff here. Sometimes big events happen. If you can't guess what happened right around December 7th, 2016.
Yeah, about 4 years ago. And I'm not coughing because I have coronavirus, but if you don't get the hint. 4 years ago, as we enter a very crazed political time in 2020, as we stand, I guess, now, 6 months away from the upcoming 2020 election. So I guess 3.5 years ago.
For sure, man. Yeah, December 7th, 2016. Decided we had to talk some politics, and we had to get a secret agent, inside government man, secret agent Ron on the case. And here's some of his opinions on what he thought about Trump and what he saw, how the world was going to go in the next 4 years. And kind of we can catch up with him now and see how close his predictions were and see how Secret Agent Ron is doing. So this is us catching up with Secret Agent Ronnie.
All right, so with that, I guess we will introduce to the show Secret Agent Ronnie. 4 years, almost now, I guess almost a full 4 years in to the Trump election. But Ronnie, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, man, welcome back to the show. It's been a wild 4 years. No, like we said, we had you on now. If you remember, I think it was like 2016 December, and
it's
Trump
a couple of weeks
elected.
after the election, I think, right?
Trump had just got elected, and our boy Secret Agent Ronnie here works in government. We can't say where.
Can't say how or who or when.
We're doing this on Zoom, but currently his face is blurred out, and he's using this voice right here. But I remember telling Ronnie, I was like, dude, Trump got elected. Like, this is crazy. And Ronnie goes, you got a podcast. Let me on. I got some shit I got to get off my chest.
Yeah, I think it was probably the first time we broke format and went away from the geek culture and delved into the real world. So I guess what have your thoughts, Ben? Are you
geek too?
Are you rocking a MAGA hat these days or what? What's going on?
He converted me. Yeah,
did he tell you?
I actually caught the coronavirus, and when I woke up, I realized I was really a Trump supporter. And,
that's all it took.
Coronavirus cleansed me of my MAGA hatred, I guess.
Were you taking his magic medicine? He keeps trying to sell everybody.
Yeah, I think that's the cure for coronavirus is a MAGA hat. I think it's really it's the only true vaccine that I've noticed.
Yeah.
Any MAGA hats? They don't have coronavirus. You do the math.
Nothing like protesting for your right to catch the coronavirus. You know?
Yeah, seriously.
Get out there.
Yeah. As an American, I have the.
Storm the Capitol and make sure you tell your governor that I want to catch the coronavirus.
We have actually been doing our show via Zoom. We've been calling it Life in Coronaville for the last, couple of weeks. And we've been talking about pretty much, the impact on the geek culture, but as well as some of the, New York City stuff. You're in New York City as well, right?
Yep. I mean,
you're actually in the heart of Coronaville, much like the Corona kid up there. Devin is. Both of you guys as well just recently moved to the area, right? Didn't you move to Neuro just in time for patient one to? Which we
haven't discussed is me. There's a very good chance that I was patient zero, but
yeah. No, in all seriousness, my neighbor just died. So yeah, it's pretty. When it comes that close and you start seeing the people that it happens to, it's a little messed up.
From COVID, or do you fall down the stairs?
No, she died. She had corona. Yeah, it's like I said hi to her when I moved in, and then I hadn't seen her husband for the last couple months, and then I just ran into him yesterday. And I was like, how's it going? He was really friendly when I first met him, and he's like, yeah, my wife died from coronavirus. Just completely stopped in my tracks. Couldn't believe it. So yeah,
wow. I mean, in all honesty, that and all joking aside, as we mentioned, in the early Coronaville episodes when we talked about Devin, but that area really has been hit extremely hard by coronavirus and whatnot. So definitely, not a joking matter at all, but I guess we'll do our best. Kind of ironically funny that you happen to move there right about now.
No, you're right. It's definitely sketchy, especially when you have a kid and you don't want to get him sick. It's serious, man. But it goes back to the the Trump question that you had earlier. How could anybody support someone who did so little to help everybody? I don't know.
Well, I mean, for sure. And I guess that's why I kind of come back to it too, is it has been 4 years. We did bring you on. We did break format because of this, because of the whole Trump thing. It's almost now, time for the next round of elections. Has this 4 years been as bad as we all thought it was going to be? What do you think about, obviously, like Coronaville going on, but do you think he has a fighting chance coming
up to as of
Answer
February
all those questions I asked you in that order.
Predict the election? You want me to predict? Make sure tell everybody what's going to happen.
No, but as well, just like as of February 2020, before coronavirus. Like your thoughts on Trump in the last 3.5 years leading up. Obviously now it's a different opinion, like you just said. But how about the pre-coronavirus Trump administration? Your thoughts?
Because it was 4 years ago too. I'm sorry to jump back in, but 4 years ago too, you were losing family members and friends on Facebook because you were ripping everybody apart. That was a big thing we talked about the episode that you were on too. Is that one person was just
question coming from a mile away.
One person was like, "Hey, we should just give him a chance, right?" And Ronnie was like, "You fucking piece of shit."
It was a hot button subject.
But has it been before coronavirus too?
I think every family in the country has seen some type of division because that's exactly what Trump does. He creates division. He doesn't, him and his supporters create division. You try and have a logical conversation with facts, and they start disputing what facts actually are defined as. When you get into a conversation with somebody when they talk about facts and opinions and they don't know the difference, then there's no point in continuing the conversation.
No, for sure. It's like a philosophical, theoretical argument needs to take place before you even get into the actual logistics of what's going on.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, I know there's definitely family that I didn't want to talk to, and Trump helped facilitate me following through on that. It's fine.
I've officially wrote off
he helped out.
Yeah. Trump's not doing everything so bad. What about Joe Biden here? I mean, the election's coming up. Do you think Biden's got a fighting chance? Me, myself, as a young kid from Delaware who was in a Biden commercial, I'm a little biased.
That's
so
true.
I can't.
Devin's practically part of the cabinet over there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, we still email and whatnot. I was
For me, as an African American, I need to prove that you're not black unless you voted. I heard Biden on Charlemagne today, so you ain't black if you vote Trump over Biden. So
yeah, here's my thing on that. The reason Trump won was because there was a low African American turnout in 3 cities, and it just so happened to tip the scale in those states, which was Milwaukee, Detroit, and Philadelphia. So if the same number of black people showed up for Hillary Clinton that did for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012, Hillary would have won the election. And
That's
Trump won by thin margins in those cities. He won by 7,000 votes in those in those states. So if the 20 and the 30,000 African Americans showed up in each of those cities, they would have tipped the scale for Hillary, and Trump wouldn't have won by such thin margins in Wisconsin.
For sure.
What do you think about the 2020 election, though? Do you think Biden's got a fighting chance? What do you think the result's going to be?
That brings me to Biden. It's because Biden won the primary. He beat everybody because he had such appeal with African Americans in the South Carolina primary. So instead of everybody trying to fight each other, and if they spread the primary thin like the Republicans did, which enabled Trump to win, then the wrong person in the Democratic Party would win. And they wanted the person who had the best chance at attracting African American voters in the primary. That's kind of how Joe Biden got it. Yeah. I'll take him. I would have taken other people, but I mean,
to put it in the geek terms, it's kind of like how Black Panther shattered the box office records, and then followed up by Black Panther's appearance in Age of Ultron. Really put that one over the top. However, the non-Black Panther Marvel movies lose to Trump. So. I tried to give a good geek analogy.
This is worse than the time that when Ronnie was on the first time, we tried to play a funny game afterwards. We're like, all right, but what about Terry Crews from Idiocracy? He'd make a pretty good president, right? to keep it on the lighter side too, because we do have you on as, of course, your secret agent Ronnie. But when you were on 4 years ago, you did get a. I'd like to say it was because of us. You got a little taste of the bug, the podcast bug, and you did have a short-lived kind of podcast where you were playing like best music from movies, right? If I remember correctly, or it was like.
I don't know. I had tried to find some type of theme every week to create music, or to create like a playlist that I thought kind of interwove different genres, but still found a common thread. So you could play rock, you could play heavy metal, you could play thrash punk, you could play hip hop, and still see something that all of them had. That was kind of like
Well, see, I mean, don't worry, because you've totally since then. Liam over here has started the old Big LW Jammin' World podcast, and has even ripped off your idea of putting out best soundtrack movie and mixing up genres. So not only did you inspire a nation with your anti-Trump rhetoric, but you also inspired Liam to totally hack podcast ideas. So,
and I want to thank you for that, by the way. It's worked out really well.
No, it's cool.
It's going over huge in red states, ironically, but these thematic.
And I want to point out too, though, man, that when you were on, after you were on, dude, you were and still are probably top 4 most listened episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know why. I feel like you're blowing smoke up my ass when you say that.
Absolutely not, man. I can email you the numbers on this time, but. You're definitely one of the most listened ones, dude.
Much like Trump, we don't release our numbers, but you can take my word that you had the greatest, you had the biggest numbers. They were huge.
Then we're missing out on money. We could be making money doing this if that's the case. If we were finding
There's never been another podcast guest like Ron.
You guys could play the two comedians, and I'll be the straight guy, and I'll.
Well, we'd definitely love to have you back, in all honesty, coming up before or after maybe the 4-year anniversary in a Joe Biden administration, or maybe a couple of weeks
fingers crossed
before. Yeah, exactly. Or a couple of weeks before, maybe before the election. But coming up on election 2020, we'll definitely need to get Secret Agent Ronnie back on the Geeked Up podcast.
For sure, man.
Yeah, anytime, guys. You let me know.
But, dude, thanks for being a guest on this, man. It's been great seeing like you and everyone else that's been a part of this show. I'm going to say thank you to you also, because you haven't said it yet, but I know you're wishing us a big 5-year congratulations.
Oh, yeah, that was nice of you, Ron. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate that. That was great.
I'm so self-centered. I thought you were going to talk to me.
It was in your eyes, man. We could see it, dude. We know you were wishing it was.
You're like the people I talked to in 3 weeks.
But Ronnie, me and Devin had different thoughts on The Wrong Missy, starring David Spade. I know you're a big SNL guy. You got to check that one out and get back to us. Let us know your opinion, cause
The Wrong Missy. All right, you got it.
Dude, we'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks again for being on, buddy. After all this crazy pandemic is over, I hope to see you in person, bud.
Absolutely.
All right, bro. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
So that's us. That was us. Thanks again, Secret Agent Ron.
No Orla Airbud. Ron's now a MAGA supporter turn, I guess.
Yeah.
He stayed true to format and didn't shock the world with any.
You really did. Surprising us
everybody
all.
to fill out their census and get out there and vote this coming up November. And that's, of course, coming from Ron. Not the Geeked Up Podcast. We don't really give a shit. No. From us, too.
Vote of that Suck MC challenge, guys. Come on.
No, seriously. Speaking of the election in November, still taking those Suck Us to episode 10 emails, yo.